James, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. How are you?
And thank you so much for joining us on Top of the Morning.
You're very welcome. Top of the morning.
I know how busy you are and really appreciate your time. I've got a few questions for you that we think that our audience will be interested in. And the first one I have, as you know, this episode is about the FISTA.
Yes, sir.
The Fires Innovation Science and Technology Accelerator. Something we're all in the community very excited about.
Very much so.
A lot of people are following this closely, and folks know, and if there's anyone out there watching this that doesn't know, James Taylor is the director of the FISTA, and he's doing a myriad of things to get the building ready, to recruit businesses to come in there, to receive and welcome businesses coming in. Just so many different things going on in James's world with the FISTA. So the first question is, when the idea of the FISTA was presented to you, initially when somebody said to you, we're thinking we're gonna do R&D and S&T, research and development, science and technology in Lawton. What were your first thoughts?
Just total excitement, Nate, because of the fact that that's the future. That is the future of what we need to do as a community to support Fort Sill and our two cross-functional teams. That science and technology, research and development is what the future is for the military, but also applications within the community, bringing in high-tech jobs. High-tech jobs to further this, to find programs which we refer to as programs of record that can be here for the millennium, that can be here for a long time, that can only grow and support, like what we have seen in Huntsville, Alabama.
Well, you really answered my second question too, which is what did you think the FISTA will mean to the future of Lawton Fort Sill? And you just compared us, the vision for us, with that of Huntsville, Alabama. But for the folks watching this program who've never been to Huntsville, if you would, describe a little bit of what that means.
Great. When I was on active duty, I was fortunate to be assigned to U.S. Strategic Command in Omaha, Nebraska. U.S. Strategic Command is the steward for the nuclear stockpile, as well as looking at for the future Department of Defense from that perspective in R&D and S&T. The community as a whole came together to build a global integration support center in order to support the missions that were there at U.S. Strategic Command. So in finding out about this, I would say, wow, this is great. However, one of our subordinate commands was Space and Missile Defense Command in Huntsville, Alabama. And I would go there about every other month in coordination of programs, future development, new headquarters, other types of things that were coming together there, and got to see it grow initially beginning in 2000. Then when you and I went there a couple of years ago and saw it almost 20 years later, oh my goodness, that community has just exploded with everything imaginable for R&D and S&T, Redstone Arsenal, other things that are there. I was so excited about it, even took my daughter there to go to space camp. But the reality is that the community embraced that program. You would go around Huntsville and you would find businesses that supported Redstone and the military that were in that community. They provided discount programs. They reached out to the school programs. They did everything imaginable to embrace that. And to see it grow over 20 years, that's our goal here, to be able to be that. And folks that come here from Huntsville say, yes, you're right on the edge. You're ready to go there.
And that's very encouraging, isn't it?
It's extremely encouraging, Nate, because of the fact that this is a community effort. This is an effort of business leaders, of educators, of innovators, of the state, the region, our congressional body. All of that are coming together. But you've been a big part of this. It's not just me. You've been a big part of this too, Nate.
Going back to Huntsville, if anyone gets an opportunity to to visit Huntsville and their innovation park. It's amazing. And it's a beautiful thing, and so much capability there. And it has brought prosperity to Huntsville. And obviously, that is what we're hoping for. I have a really good idea about this next question, but I'll ask it anyway.
Okay.
How do you feel about being the first director of the FISTA?
There are a lot of firsts in life. There are a lot of opportunities. But the reality is that I won't be the last. I'll be a part of the initial effort. Being first is honorable. Being first is important. Being first puts a lot of responsibility on you. But you know, having done this, having served 29 years in the military, I've got experience that I want to share. More so for the young men and women that are looking at a future here. And that's really what this is about as we talk about high-tech jobs. Is find that opportunity for the young men and women in this community to stay here and to have a decent job and a decent circumstance.
You're very proud to be the first.
I am, but it's not about me. It's about this community. It's about the program. It's about the FISTA and everyone involved.
You're proud
board.
to have the opportunity to serve. I get it. I get it.
I am.
And that kind of leads to the second question.
Okay.
It's not easy to stand up a research and development and science and technology facility. Not easy at all. And as you've been working to do that, what are the biggest challenges, or what have been the biggest challenges?
Well, you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. The circumstance is that there are many communities, many organizations out there that have done or have been doing this for a long time. And fortunately, everyone that I reach out to is willing to help. Everyone that I've reached out to is willing to be a part of this. But those challenges are putting together, if you will, in the footprint of the mall, inside the Sears building, inside the Dillard's building, and imagining what that can become after what we have seen in Huntsville it's awe-inspiring. But the reality is that it takes work. It takes detail, it takes focus with that, and it takes drive. So I've got it, I'm ready, I'm pushing it, and we continue to move forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that perspective. I know that there are a lot of long days working the details, and nothing happens without those details being worked out.
Never does.
But you certainly go the extra mile to take care of the companies that are coming in here, and on their behalf, I certainly feel comfortable saying thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You touched on this earlier, but you and I have talked about this before, so I'm going to come back to it. How do you see the high-tech jobs transforming Lawton Fort Sill? Now, we talked about what we might see in 10 years or 20 years, but I think a lot of folks are looking to see, what do we expect right away?
What we would expect right away is the opportunity to bring in these high-tech jobs and further develop programs, if you will, plans, ongoing projects, working with the defense industry, academia, innovators, with the funding mechanisms that are here to be able to put in place programs that meet the requirements, that develop the opportunities, if you will, for those needs out on post. It's not about us, it's about Fort Sill, it's about the Army, it's about the opportunity for R&D and S&T. So really, what this is all about is collaboratively bringing all these elements together in a way that meets their requirements, their needs, their shortfalls, their gaps, and helping with that. Because believe me, they're asking for help. They're asking for what can this community do to help them. And in many ways, that's some of the things that has been missing here for the longest time. And now we're seeing how that can come into fruition.
Well, that question is a segue to something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's STEM education.
Yes, sir.
You know, creating high-tech jobs here means that our STEM graduates, like our National Math and Science Initiative kids that graduated high school, went to college, took a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math curriculum, prepared themselves for a high-paying job and a good life. And they get to come home and have that job. And we're starting to see that. Having been involved with NMSI, the National Math and Science Initiative, that's exciting to me. It's exciting to see that happen. And we are Oklahoma STEM City. Now we need to claim that. We can't claim it enough. We're about to stand up the Lawton Fort Sill STEM Consortium. So I know you have thoughts on how the FISTA plays in all this, so please share.
Okay. There is if you will, there is a process that needs to be thought out. I'm a former educator. I taught special education. So I work with gifted and talented, with individuals that had learning challenges, all age groups, all identifications and the like. And believe me, STEM is so important in the longevity and the opportunities for young minds. And STEM education provides them a pathway, provides them an expansion of what they might consider as an opportunity for future employment. In many instances, what our kids like today are, what are those opportunities? And that's what STEM really does, is that it opens their minds to all sorts of things in science, technology, engineering, mathematics that they would not know otherwise. They would not realize that they have an opportunity to take what they can learn here through STEM education and apply that to college or to like career tech or on their own, depending upon their skill sets, and then expand that into employment and longevity than growing up here.
And please share, you're going to have a maker space, a STEM maker space
Right.
in your FISTA.
Right.
How does it fit in?
Okay. Well, the STEM lab is grades 3 through 12. And that will work with kids at those particular age groupings, but not be restrictive. So if the student has a greater propensity for learning in that particular area, engineering, mathematics, whatever, science, technology, whatever that may be, we work to foster that. But where do you go after high school? Where's the opportunity to take that even further, working towards a career or further education? That would be through the makerspace. The makerspace is basically a playroom for college kids that are looking to go into engineering. Particularly here, we're looking at mechanical engineering or other engineering related fields where we can, and in coordination with these companies that are coming in, those that are aligned with universities have already stated that they're going to bring elements of their STEM program with them. So if you can imagine within the makerspace a laboratory of multiple universities with employees or companies within the FISTA supplementing that makerspace and taking their knowledge and experience and sharing that with those college kids. Where was that when we were kids, Now we have young men and women that have the opportunity to expand their minds and realize, wow, I can take this even further into employment. Or they can create their own opportunities because of that.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for sharing that. You've talked about the long-term vision, 10, 20 years of being like a Huntsville and the R&D and S&T and how it grows. But for this question, that long-term view, what does it mean to the rest of the city?
Exactly. Economic development, business development, industrial development, housing, retail, secondary and tertiary type jobs and employment, but high-paying jobs, higher salaries, and what that does, disposable income, with that opportunity then to invest that into the community and how it grows that community through those other areas. So in many ways, 150, 200 jobs over 2 years, 250 retail jobs by conservative estimates, potentially over 2 years, somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million of economic impact. That is extremely important. STEM education has a part of that too. STEM can gain from that investment as well. So altogether, yeah, economic development is what it's about.
And I know a lot of people are concerned in our city about the infrastructure, but it's going to make the funds that enables investment in new infrastructure.
It does. And using Huntsville as an example, you know the challenges getting on and off of Redstone Arsenal because of the high traffic, but wouldn't that be great to be able to see here? The challenges and opportunities for better housing, better schools, better hospitals, many things that could provide opportunity for the area schools and the like.
Yeah, the mayor talked about this at some length, as you might imagine, because his TIF and CIP, these things are focused in that area. My last question, and this is for the audience for sure, what would your message be to Lawtonians as they follow the progress of the newly established FISTA?
If you don't know, ask. If you ask, listen. If you listen, take what you hear and share it. More importantly, the messaging needs to be is that this isn't our FISTA, Nate. This is their FISTA. This is the FISTA for the young professionals. This is the FISTA for young generations. The messaging needs to be, this is your opportunity to put a stake in the ground for your future, for your family's future, for those opportunities, whether it be with a defense contractor or defense related, for academia or for innovation. There's really something there for everyone. And it's just a matter that we need to take this opportunity and make the most of it. This doesn't come around very often, but when it does, this is our opportunity to shine and to make this history for us.
What do you recommend to folks who say, I'm really interested in this, and they're excited about it and want to see it succeed, but they'd like to know how we're doing? What would you say to them?
That our effort in putting information out to the community, working with the media, working through the city council, they have been the strongest proponent for this and support to that. Speak to your councilman or councilwoman. Talk to or be a part of local organizations that are a part of the FISTA or become a part of that, and allow yourself to listen and understand more. In many ways, Nate, it's a chance for them to become more of a part of their future. Through Cameron University, through Great Plains Technology Center, through many efforts through Lawton Public Schools, through the area school systems. There's a lot of information that's out there. We can share that. Plus, if groups want to know more, they can reach out to me and I can come speak to them.
Oh, super.
And answer those questions and share those, as well as our board members. We've empowered them with
FISTA Authority.
The FISTA Authority Board. That we've empowered them with information that they can share with others, and we can do that continually, not just once, but come back continually and provide updates to that. So get involved in the community and see where the FISTA is going to take us, because it's not all about one thing, it's about many things, many good things for our future.
Come be part of the FISTA team.
Yes, sir.
No, I like the sound of that. James, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Nate.
Most of all, thank you for the great work you're doing at the FISTA. We appreciate your service there. I know how dedicated you are, and so I really appreciate that, you making your time with us today. And
can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Yeah, go FISTA.
And to our audience out there, thank you so much for joining us for Top of the Morning. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.